to make good decisions. As we start this meeting, Lord, let it be done in your honor and in your glory. And let whatever do and say in here will go to the honor and glory of you. These words we ask in your name's sake. Amen.
We have a lot of projects to approve, so I'm going to make every effort, as you have graciously done in the past, to move today's session along very quickly. I do not have any apologies for absence. Okay. So Member Crawford has sent apologies. Anybody else? All right. Let's welcome the new recruits at the Constituency Development Fund Office, the CDF office. You are pointing out new recruits. You're fairly new yourself. Welcome. I can tell you we are advocating for the improvement in the salaries paid to the officers at the CDF. You have many constituencies to oversee, most persons in excess of 5, and it is a rough road to travel all over the country and a lot to be done. And we value your service, so I can tell you I am hoping that in the near future, through the Ministry of Finance, you will see some improvement in your compensation. I hope that 5 don't mean 5 million.
I want to join with you, Madam Chair, and just to say that they are not just workers, they are committed, very, very committed, and they do not have any time factor. They will call you even in the night if they believe that something is to be done. And it shows the level of commitment that they have. And I personally want to join with you in ensuring that they are properly remunerated, sorry.
Member Daly, I understand the politics is forever close to the mind.
And that, Chairman, that we at all times make sure that they are comfortable, because without them, sometimes we are nothing. They guide us with the projects when we are doing them, and make sure that when they come here, they are in order, that we are not turned back.
Thanks, Member Daly. Oh man, I believe you, may I get through the projects very quickly. So there are some points I really wanted to make sure that we put on the record. So in terms of your remunerations, we actually observe it. It is tied to our own CDF officers in the constituency. I do believe it is something that should be separated, especially based on the number of constituencies that you have to manage, and the two should be considered independent of each other. In terms of CDF meetings, I take the opportunity again to remind members of Parliament that at least once every 2 years, but even better if once per year, we engage our constituents. Zoom is also available as an option to drop in from time to time. If you can do Zoom meetings once a year, and every 2 years you make sure you have face-to-face meetings, it really makes a big difference for our constituents in appreciating the fund, how it works, how it benefits them, and how they can access the benefits of the CDF office.
Madam Chair, might I put it on the record too that for the next financial year, the delinquent MPs, we will not be approving their projects or taking the, because it is part of our operational procedure from the Ministry of Finance. If you have not met with your constituency for 2 years or more, your projects should not be funded.
No, that's a serious indictment on some members of Parliament, and I will ask that the director of the CDF office do one favor for those members of Parliament who are derelict. Send out a general reminder, please, and for those who are derelict in their duties, go further and advise them of the consequence, because this committee is going to hold steadfast to the rules that are established for due accountability and proper governance of the CDF fund. We will start with confirmation of minutes. May I have for July 26, 2020, someone confirming? That's Member Vaz. Anyone seconding? That's Member Robinson. Have lots of projects. We will start with a physical and infrastructure project from Portland Eastern Employment Generation. This is member Mrs. Anne-Marie Vaz, Portland Eastern. The budgeted amount for her, what we would call Christmas program, beautification, employment generation, is $1,997,450. I should reiterate for members of Parliament, if you have not submitted your Christmas work program and it is not in this pile for approval, you will not have any funding from the CDF office in order to execute any such program because the time has passed. Most Honorable Andrew Holness, St. Andrew West Central, disaster mitigation for 2022-2023. I didn't say where it was being executed through. It was a Portland Municipal Corporation, if I didn't. For her project here, Portland Municipal Corporation. So for St. Andrew West Central, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, disaster mitigation, it's $2,250,000. This is being executed through the KSAMC. Mr. James Robertson, St. Thomas Western, his employment generation program is being budgeted for $2,508,152, and it is being executed through the NWA. Honorable Homer Davis, beautification, physical infrastructure, $3.5 million to be executed through the St. James Municipal Corporation, and that's for St. James Southern. Mr. Donovan Williams from Kingston Central, his physical infrastructure program is also at a maximum for Christmas beautification and employment. That's $3.5 million being executed through the KSAMC. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, $3.5 million to be spent in St. Andrew Northwest for employment and beautification programs being executed through the KSAMC. Mr. Philip Paulwell, Kingston East and Port Royal, also $3.5 million through the KSAMC for physical infrastructure beautification. Honorable J.C. Hutchinson, St. Elizabeth Northwestern, his amount is $2 million for employment generation and beautification through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Physical infrastructure programs continue with Daniel Lawrence, Westmoreland Eastern. His budget is $1,999,872 being spent through the NWA. Ms. Crystal Lee, St. Anne Northwestern, continues with physical infrastructure beautification program of $998,760 being executed through the National Works Agency. Mr. Morlon Wilson from Westmoreland Western continues with his employment generation Christmas program for physical infrastructure in $2,999,892 through the National Works Agency. Mr. George Wright from Westmoreland Central, his employment generation program through the NWA is in the amount of $2,972,250. Honorable Delroy Chuck, $3.5 million. His was through the NWA. That's what I saw. Look at it. Just make sure George right. Correct. NWA. And Honorable Delroy Chuck from St. Andrew Northeastern, 3.5 million, and he is using the KSMC as the executing agency. Honorable Robert Morgan, Clarendon North Central, he's using the NWA for his physical infrastructure employment generation program in the budgeted amount of $3,249,735 and 30 cents, sorry, and 30 cents. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton from St. Catherine West Central, his budgeted amount through the NWA is $2,999,984.40. Miss Natalie Nita Garvey, St. Catherine North Central, Human and Social Development Project for St. Catherine North Central, School Vocational Employment Project. (2022-2023) is the budget period. So, it's education. The budgeted amount is $2,800,350.00. No. It's just the time of the year that the project is coming in. I would really encourage members of Parliament a very efficient flow for the CDF. And this is something that I appreciated from Minister Warmington when I became a new member of Parliament. For the very first year, I sat down and went through the constituency and did all the projects one time. Submitted all of them one time. And it works very efficiently. You do have the ability to vary if needed, but it makes it very efficient when you need funds that your projects are already in. So a Christmas project for no MP should be in a position that the closure comes, you maybe missed the email, and you just didn't see the reminder, and you've just lost touch with time. Whatever it is, you would have had your project in. It is always best to get the projects in early. So that's a general thing for us. And the benefit of that annual 2-yearly meeting is to now ensure that your constituents are engaged in the process of helping to decide how they see the critical areas for them that they would like you to focus on. But I would encourage all members of Parliament, get our projects in early. It really, really helps.
Chair, we could announce at this meeting when is the cutoff date for those Christmas projects so that...
It's
Today's the day?
Absolutely, that's what I was saying, that if your project is not in this batch, you are not going to meet. Yes, you can turn it on. Yes, that was the preamble. Yours is in, and that was the preamble. So that if there's anyone who knows they have not yet submitted, they realize there will be no time to submit for this Christmas 2022, December. No, not necessarily. It's not the last meeting for CDF, but it is the last meeting based on the time frame it requires to facilitate the process of the distribution of those funds.
Just for the record, and everybody was informed that...
Absolutely. The CDF office is on top of things, Member Daly. They don't only inform, they call. They call. And I really appreciate that from the CDF office. If someone is in a position that something is wrong, we may not know here, but I promise you they know, because members of Parliament are called individually, and they are spoken to, and they are encouraged, and they are offered support. This project is from Mr. Mark Golding, St. Andrew Southern. His employment generation is $2,750,000 being executed through the KSMC. Mr. Dwight Siblis from Clarendon Northern is spending $3.5 million, KSMC $2,750,000, Mark Golding. Mr. Dwight Sibley's Clarendon Northern, ready for that one? His is $3.5 million, and it is being done through the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Ms. Carencia Morrison, St. Catherine Northeastern, $3,068,040 through the NWA for her beautification and employment generation physical infrastructure project. Robert Montague, St. Mary Western, his physical infrastructure beautification program is for $2.5 million, and it is being executed through the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. Dr. Morris Guy, St. Mary Central, his program is for $3 million, beautification and drain cleaning, St. Mary Municipal Corporation. Another physical infrastructure project, beautification, $3.5 million for Desmond Mackenzie, Kingston Western, being executed through the KSMC. Mr. Julian Robinson, St. Andrew Southeastern, his physical infrastructure project is for $3.5 million, being executed through the KSMC. Dr. Angela Brown Burke, St. Andrew Southwestern, hers is for also $3.5 million through the KSMC. Fitz Jackson, St. Catherine Southern, his is also $3.5 million through the Portmore Municipal Corporation. Favour Williams, St. Andrew Eastern, $3.5 million through the NWA. Mr. Mike Henry, Clarendon Central, his physical infrastructure employment generation is for $1,030.50 through the Clarendon Parish Council. Dr. Peter Phillips, St. Andrew East Central, his beautification program is for $3,054,975. Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., Clarendon Southeastern, in the full amount of $3.5 million, being executed through the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Natalie Nita Garvey, St. Catherine North Central, her physical infrastructure employment generation program is in the amount of $2,999,997 through the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Mr. Robert Miller, St. Catherine Southeast, his is for $2,999,850 through the NWA. Milo? Nita Garvey. That's the beautification program for Christmas. Would you like to see it? Yes. Could you pass back Nita Garvey's to the CDF? Honorable Alanda Terrelong, St. Catherine East Central. His physical infrastructure is $3,499,912.50 through the NWA. Hugh Graham from St. Catherine Northwest, his is for $3,280.50 through the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Give me back. $3,280,050. Xavier Main, St. Anne Southwestern, his beautification program is for $2,607,360 through the NWA. Dr. Andrew Weasley, St. Catherine South Central, is for the $3.5 million through the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Ms. Denise Daly, St. Catherine Eastern, also $3.5 million through the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Mr. Philip Henriquez, Clarendon Northwest, his is for $2 million, and it's being executed through the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Mr. Delroy Slowly, St. Elizabeth Northeastern, for $2.5 million through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Mr. Franklin, Honorable Franklin Witter, St. Elizabeth Southeastern, his program is for $576,000. When you see these things. So this is 576,000 employment generation, St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation.
You have to give it to Mr. Witter, Chair, because he does a lot of roads.
I know, he does a lot of roads.
Yes.
A lot of farm roads. Honorable Floyd Green, St. Elizabeth Southwestern, $1.8 million through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange for St. Catherine Eastern, hers is $3,499,902, and she's executing through the NWA. I didn't see these, I thought I was finished. Oh, more to come? All right. These projects are all disaster mitigation projects. That's the project type. First, Honorable J.C. Hutchinson, St. Elizabeth Northwestern. His project is for $699,405 through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Ms. Vaz, please date them for me here. Date them, yeah. Honorable Edmund Bartlett, St. James East Central. His is for $2,999,850 through the St. James Municipal Corporation. Mr. Dave Brown, Hanover Eastern, $2 million through the Solid Waste Management Authority. Honorable Marissa Dalrymple Philibert Trelawney Southern, $1.5 million through the Trelawney Municipal Corporation. Ms. Lisa Hanna, St. Anne Southeastern, $1,999,872. That's $1,999,872, Lisa Hanna Southeastern, and it is through the NWA. J.C. Hutchinson, no, he's going through his parish council. It was at, I think, Dave Brown. Dave Brown, I think it is. The one for solid waste implementing agency, could we send it back across to the... It is a pleasure to see you, Member Terrelong. Hint, hint. Thank you. Thank you, Member Terrelong. No, you know. Thank you. Dr. Wheatley, St. Catherine, South Central, his budget is $1,499,988.50. He is implementing through the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Desmond McKenzie, Honorable Desmond McKenzie, Kingston Western, $2,250,000. He's through the KSAMC. Hold on. And last but not least, Mr. James Robertson, St. Thomas Western. You got Minister Mackenzie's own? St. Thomas Western, $1,991,808 being implemented through the NAA. That's the last one. These are sports program. Up next, all sports. First, request for reallocation by MP Crystal Lee in the amount of $900,625.70 from the previously approved Northwest St. Anne Sports and Entertainment Project. She's desirous of having the funds redirected to another project in sports, St. Anne Northwest Sports Development for 2022-2023. Okay, she had available funds left over because of COVID, and she's utilizing the funds at this time by redirecting it to her current year sports program. No, there's a letter and the front page for the previous approval. So it's still in sports. It was approved from 2019. So it wasn't fully spent. Oh, yes, this looks like it. This is it. This is it. Anne-Marie, please put this, yes. It was previously approved, still in sports. This is to be attached to it. Still in sports, and no, this is the, right, so the amount, the details is here, and it is being executed through the SDC. So it's still the same Northwest Sports Development Project. The amount being spent is $900,625.70. SDC. Mr. Morland Wilson, Westmoreland Western, his budget is for $1,890,000 through the SDC for his sports program. Ms. Anne-Marie Vass, Portland Western, $2 million through the SDC. Mr. Michael Phillips, Manchester Northwestern, $1 million through the SDC for his project. Dr. Wheatley St. Catherine South Central, $400,000 and $11.50 through the SDC. Robert Chin, Manchester Southern, $1 million for sports through the SDC. Honorable Audley Shaw, Manchester Northeast, $1 million as well through the SDC for his sports program. Mr. Lester Mike Henry, Clarendon Central, $2 million for his sports program. Honorable Carl Samudo, his sports program is $1 million through the SDC. Mr. Dwight Sibley's Clarendon North, $1 million also through the SDC. The following are welfare programs, project type, human and social development. First is Natalie Nita Garvey, $619,653 being spent through the SDC. Honorable Carl Samuda, his is $2 million through the SDC. Mr. Robert Chin, his is $1 million through the SDC. Ms. Rhoda Crawford, Manchester Central, $1 million through the SDC. Mr. Fitz Jackson, $2 million through the SDC. You want to take up this too? So these are continuing more human and social development projects. These are not welfare related. So this is cultural and social assistance program for Honorable Homer Davis, St. James South, 1 million through the SDC. Honorable Audley Shaw, Manchester Northeastern, 1 million through the Manchester Municipal Corporation for water distribution. Robert Chin, Manchester Southern, social water for 1.5 million through the Manchester Parish Council. And Honorable Xavier Mean through the St. Anne Parish Council, water tanker and trucking, $2,089,500. Education, all again human and social development projects, all education. Honorable Carl Samuda, $5 million through the SDC. Mr. Michael Phillips, Manchester Northwestern, 1.5 million through the Municipal Corporation of Manchester. Dr. Peter Phillips, St. Andrew East Central, $1,030,000 through the SDC. That's $1,030,000 through the SDC. Robert Chin, thank you, Manchester South, 5 million through the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Carencia Morrison, St. Catherine Northeastern, through the SDC, $500,000. That's $500,000. Honorable Mercer Dalrymple Philibert Trelawney Southern, 1 million through the SDC. Rhoda Crawford Manchester Central, $500,000 through the SDC. Social housing. All these social housing projects are human and social development project type. Mercer Dalrymple Philibert, Trelawney South, $1 million through the SDC. Honorable Carl Samudo, St. Andrew North Central, $1 million through the SDC. Honorable Favour Williams, $2 million through the SDC. Mr. Dwight Sibley's, Clarendon North, $1.5 million through the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Robert Chin, 1.5 through the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Fitz Jackson, St. Catherine South, $1 million through SDC. Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, St. Mary Southeastern, $2 million through the SDC. And Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, $1 million for St. Andrew Northwest through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. All right. These are economic enablement. These economic enablement programs are all coming one by one. This one is for agricultural assistance. Member of Parliament Mrs. Anne-Marie Vaz from Portland Eastern, $1,502,550. She's using RADA as the implementing agency. Carencia Morrison, also for agriculture, $1,119,195. RADA is the implementing agency. Honorable Mercer Dalrymple Philibert for farming recovery, $3 million, implementing agency RADA. Honorable Favour Williams, St. Andrew Eastern, economic help, $1 million through the SDC. Mr. Robert Chin, economic enablement, $500,000 through the Manchester Parish Council or Municipal Corporation. Mr. Julian Robinson, St. Andrew South Eastern, $158,000 through the SDC. Dr. Peter Phillips, $2.1 million through the SDC for economic enablement. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, St. Catherine West Central, $1 million through the SDC. Mr. Philip Henriquez is using RADA for his agriculture economic enablement of $2 million. And Fitzjackson, St. Catherine South, $1 million through the SDC. Honorable Floyd Green, St. Elizabeth South West, $500,000 through the SDC. Last but not least is $2 million for Honorable Carl Samudo, economic enablement through the SDC. Yes, I am ready to take more. I'm ready to take more. Okay. All right, while I wait for the remaining projects, don't man, sit down, Mrs. Rochester. Don't worry, we have time. We'll move quickly. While I'm waiting, let me make one other statement. I do note members of Parliament calling for an increase in their funds made available to us for CDF. I can tell you as chairman, I do not necessarily ascribe to the same thinking. I welcome any additional amounts that we get. However, I want members of Parliament to use the opportunity of the CDF meeting to also teach your constituents that the CDF office, you as a member of Parliament, is not the primary vehicle at all to distribute government resources. Your job is to come to Parliament and to represent and to legislate. Represent means going down to the Ministry of Labour, calling them up, finding a contact, sweep them up, and represent for your constituency. Through the Ministry of Housing, MEDIJEC, which is Economic Growth and Job Creation now, that has housing. If it is Ministry of Health, you can actually write Ministry of Health and get help for persons with medication and major operations outside of your CDF. So I want us to probably have one of those sessions where we talk a little bit more about things that people as members of Parliament getting out of agencies but don't tell other MPs. When you need shop assistance, you can write down to Ministry of Labour and get help for it. So a lot of MPs, no, you can get it. You can get it. Listen, it depends on what resources are available at the time, but you must not give up. JSIF also sometimes has funding for different things. So, the reason why CDF was generated is because in 2 weeks' time, 2 to 3 weeks, we can respond to some needs of the constituents. But I'm telling you, we are literally putting ourselves up for trouble when the perception is that the MP can deliver the government services to them. That's not what is supposed to be the case. So I am encouraging everyone, those here and other members of Parliament not seated here, let's take the issues to the ministry and the ministers. Take it to the ministry and the ministers. Do not take on your shoulders the responsibility to provide all these benefits that are rightly to come from the ministry. Now, that doesn't prevent us from saying we will still ask when we are coming up to Christmas, when we have special occasions. I really appreciated that extra $9 million we got this year that went to education primarily. So yes, it is welcome, but I don't want us to have persons believe that our constituency offices is where we are supposed to take on the shoulder of running government. The last set of projects here appear all to be physical infrastructure projects. They are quite a few. Dave Brown, Hanover Eastern, $3,999,935.10. MP Dave Brown is executing his physical infrastructure for road repairs to Thompson Hill, Dundee Mountain, through the NWA. Honorable Marlene Malahoo, Fort St. Catherine West, St. James West Central, is doing Moy Hall Road repair in the amount of $6,999,999 through the St. James Municipal Corporation. Honorable Floyd Green, Southwestern, he is doing repairs for that St. Elizabeth Southwestern. He is doing repairs to Greenfield Parochial Road in the amount of $999,000 through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. And remember, you can actually partner with councillors if the resources are available to improve some of the parochial roads across your constituency.
Madam Chairman, if I may, I listened to the observations that you noted, and I decline to comment because I'm 50% with you and 50% with, for example, what Member Heward Clark indicated. But Madam, when I hear of a Member of Parliament taking $4 million, and again, I do understand that the needs in different constituencies vary, and especially when one considers the road networks in, let's say, urban centers as opposed to rural centers. But, Madam Speaker, if the sort of support that you mentioned were readily available or could be had within, let's say, the similar 2 to 3 week or 4 week period, so even though it's not, we understand it's not possible, but if it were, then it would obviate the need for a Member of Parliament to take, let's say, $4 million out of the $20 million constituency fund to be directed into road repairs when there are other, let's say, economic enablement programs that would benefit, the constituents in that manner. It is, it's not even 20, and I must say, I do recognize that this administration, under the stewardship of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, that he actually increased the CDF when we assumed the governance in control of government, or governance really, in 2016. We increased the CDF from, I believe it was $15 million to $20 million, and that $5 million has gone a long way. So I do understand when other members of Parliament, especially those who are in their first term, do call for an increase in the CDF, because we on the ground, we do understand what it means to be able to assist members of Parliament within a 2 to 3 weeks position, and it is the CDF that enables us to do so with great alacrity. However, when we see the $4 million and you have to use it to roadways and road repairs, it calls into question something else that's bigger, because the local authorities, I can speak, for example, in Portmore, we have had communities, Madam Speaker, where where the municipal corporation, they've left those communities abandoned. We've not had minor road repairs happening for years. In 2018, the Prime Minister instituted a program, and again, the vision, the foresight of the government that leads with the hallmark of prosperity is such that the first 100 NHT schemes are now being repaired across Jamaica. So we've had a community like Hamilton Gardens, again, thanks to the vision of the Prime Minister, and of course, a Prime Minister who listens to the recommendation of members of parliament? How do we fix up the local roads? Because our constituents, they don't care much about, well, is municipal council supposed to do the local road as opposed to, oh, well, this is central government and we're doing the main road, etc. It is completely lost on them because as the member of parliament, everything falls within the permit of, they view within the permit of your responsibility. From road repairs in communities to garbage collection to when the light gone on the street light, every single thing. So the short point, my lady, is that but for a government such as this that leads with the hallmark of prosperity, we would not have had all of these communities being prepared or being repaired. So we're doing the Southburg community now, and again, it falls under the visionary of this government that is fixing up the first 100 roads in NHT communities. But, Madam Speaker, I wish for us to have more of these programs through agencies, and if these are being done, and if municipal council across Jamaica are also doing their part, it would prevent the need for a member of parliament to take $4 million from the CDF to be doing road repairs, Madam Chair.
Thanks, thanks, member. All right, I need to have chamber prepared. I'm being reminded by the clerk, so let us just finish this set. Mr. Heroy Clark, St. James Central, his road rehab resurfacing for Vernon Close is $3 million. He's going through the St. James Municipal Corporation. Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, you wrote that one down? You have it? St. Mary's Southeastern, $1,382,190 through the NAA. It's for Lisburg Road Rehabilitation. Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, St. Mary's Southeastern. His parochial road he's working on is Cane Lane. Rehab, it's going through the NAA, budgeted $1,380,372. Honorable Darrell Vass, Portland Western. His is for Rio Grande to Chipstow. His is for $1,449,000. NAA is the agency of implementation. Honorable Frank Witter, St. Elizabeth Eastern. Frank does a lot of roads. Genius Road in St. Elizabeth Southeast, $2,027,000 through the St. Elizabeth Parish Council. Finally, my road reach. Mrs. Juliet Holness, St. Andrew East Rural, $2,250,000 through the KCMC for Robertsfield Road rehabilitation. Now, members of parliament, it is for St. Andrew East Central, St. Andrew East Rural through the KCMC, $2,250,000. Honorable J.C. Hutchinson, St. Elizabeth Northwestern. It is for Western Ginger Hill Primary School Road, J.C. Hutchinson, St. Elizabeth Northwestern, $1,270,000. He's going through the parish council. Another rehab road for Mrs. Juliet Holness, St. Andrew East Rural, $1,650,000. This is for the St. Andrew East Rural Dusty Road rehabilitation. It's for $1,650,000 through the KSAMC. And believe you me, those amounts drop in the bucket. Honorable J.C. Hutchinson, St. Elizabeth Northwestern. Western Cool Retreat Road rehabilitation for $199,965 through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Honorable Darrell Vaz, Portland Western, Buff Bay to Whitehall and Bangor Ridge, $1,447,845 through the NAA. Honorable Frank Witter for Mount Olivet Road, $1,695,000 through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Again, Honorable Frank Witter through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation for St. Elizabeth Southeast for Trenton Lane $1,519,000. Once more, Frank Witter. Oh my, that's why Frank has no money for Christmas work. I hope all of these, they work on them during the Christmas period. He has another road for Honeygan Road, $1,664,000 through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. Remember, Witter does a lot of farm roads, a lot.
Chair, I think we're going to take to the committee, but we're still looking into it at the CDF level to use concrete roads for the farm roads.
That would be excellent.
So it is something that I am really looking at. I'm still doing consultations because remember we had the issue with chip and spray, which is far cheaper than asphaltic or concrete.
Double surface.
Yes. So what we're trying to do is to find a mechanism that lasts so that the rains, and if there's not even proper drainage and the water gets on that concrete, it doesn't destroy the road and you have the same road coming back to the parliamentary committee in a year or two.
There is a program used by cement company that you can investigate.
They are the ones that we are currently doing the research with, Chair.
We tried to do one on the same Robertsfield Road that I'm allocating some funds, but it was a challenge because it is more expensive, but it is absolutely far longer lasting.
7 years.
A road done through concrete will be about 20, maximum 30% more than asphalt, but it lasts more than 2 times as long. There is a material that is mixed with dirt, marl, and cement. That's another type of cement road that can be used as well. So in your investigations with them...
They have also indicated that they will partner with us, so you will not bear the full cost.
Yes.
Just like how you have contributing partners like TPD for TF. And we're looking, but as I said, it is something that has to be worked out where we have legal agreements between themselves and government. And as such, I possibly would want to make an announcement in the next financial year that we are now doing concrete roads for parochial and farm roads.
That's excellent. Excellent. No, we currently do that with cement company. We're basically finished. Ms. Crawford from Manchester Central, $1,497,300 through the NAA. Another one, hold on, these figures are exactly the same. Yes, $1,497,300 also through the NAA. So that's 2 programs. Yes. Dr. Wheatley, $3,375,000. Where is this now? Duncan's Pen Housing Scheme, St. Catherine Parish Council, that's $3,375,000. Juliet Cuthbert through the KSMC. This is her Christmas program, employment generation program, $2,250,000. And also again for Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Finn, this is our employment generation program. It's still physical infrastructure, $2,250,000 through the KSMC, and an additional $325,500 through the KSMC for Pete Hill pedestrian bridge installation. Those end the projects for approval today. More come in? Wow. All reallocations, I'll do them quickly. Environmental Funds, St. Andrew West Rural, MP Juliet Cuthbert Finn, $500,000 from her St. Andrew West Rural Sports Program to her education program for 2023. So from sports to education. This is from Angela Brownberg, $2.5 million for Spade Corner Homework and Resource Center. It was previously approved, and she wants to vary the funds and put it to Southwestern Painland Waltham Park Road sign. Yes, so the previously approved project was the Spade Corner Homework Center and Resource Center. And instead, the money is being varied to do a road sign for Painland Waltham Park Road. The amount is 2.5 million and the project is here. Two signs, you know. The agency is KCMC. So one would be Painland and the other is Waltham Park Road. Two signs. Another variant in the amount of $1,346,100. This is from Mr. Delroy Slowly, and it is from his previously approved Eastern Burnt Ground Box Culvert, and it is being reallocated to is repairs to the Burnt Ground Road itself. And the project is also attached, 1.5 mil. Through the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation is the project, the new project amount that it's being added to. This is reallocation of funds from St. Andrew. This can't be correct. I would know this project, so this is not making sense. This is Peter Phillips. It says East Rural, so whoever typed this up is not the right constituency. Peter Phillips constituency, so I know my constituency well. I know this is not mine. East Central, East Central. East Central. So from East Central, he's desirous of reallocating $2,798,975 from his previously approved two projects. One was to refurbish Mandela Terrace Community Homework Center for $1,854,825, and the other was United Child Development Center Playground expansion for $944,150. All right. So it's redirecting it from there. And he is redirecting it now to 18 Amara Road Homework Center. So he's redirecting from the Amara Road that was previously approved with a budget of 3.1 million, and it's being redirected to Mandela Terrace Community and United Childhood. And the implementing agency is the KCMC. And the previous approved Amara Road project is here, and the new projects are also here. So the budget through the KCMC for the United Early Childhood is $944,150, same amount redirected. And the new project for the Mandela Terrace program is $1,854,825, same amount being redirected through the KCMC as well. This is J.C. Hutchinson. He is previously approved project of $2 million for agriculture. He's doing a variant of the funds. It is within the same agency. It is still rather, he's varying within the project program. So $2 million was previously approved. He is now using $78,000 for pesticide to chicken, $200,000 for land preparation for chicken feed, and $87,000 for seeds to chicken feed. Doesn't require a new project. Last, I think this is last. Yes, last but not. This whole thing? Come. No, members of parliament, this is a very unusual, and before I even call out, I like to make sure that persons understand. You see these project documents before you sign them, read them. As a member of parliament, you cannot have persons within your office doing all the work and then you blanketly take it and quickly sign. You have to read it thoroughly. You have to make sure that you have more instead of less. So if you're going to do a program that requires that you add school shoes and uniform, but all you put was books and computers, all you'll be able to get is books and computers. If you are doing computers now, it requires that e-learning approves. The devices are e-learning approved devices. So you have to pay attention. So we're going to see some redirection of funds. All are going to be listed one by one. Members of Parliament listed here under requested a revision of their projects as follows. Honorable Delroy Chuck, St. Andrew Northeast. And all of these are social support education programs, and the project types are human and social development. 1 million that was budgeted, implementing agency e-learning, and it is to be reallocated to the Social Development Commission, SDC. Carencia Morrison, St. Catherine Northeast, social support education program, her 1 million, again from e-learning to SDC. Mr. Mark Golden, St. Andrew Southern, redirected 1.5 million from e-learning to SDC. Mr. James Robertson, St. Thomas Western, redirected e-learning to SDC. Michelle Charles, St. Thomas Eastern, redirected from e-learning to SDC. And last, Honorable Clifford Warmington, redirecting 1 million from e-learning to SDC.
Just for my own understanding, is it a special program or it's just to go to SDC?
Yes, what was happening is the requirement for laptops was that we have approved devices, if you remember. So you should have checked with e-learning, verified that the suppliers that you are recommending, that you want to use, that you get your quotations from to support the project document were approved suppliers. All right. So what would have happened to some persons, e-learning was their implementing agency. And they're having now to, that wasn't their thinking. So like I would have done computers, Member Robinson did computers, but we did not select e-learning for our agency. What we did, well for sure, I know I did, I went out, got the specs, got the suppliers and sent it to e-learning to confirm that that supplier is an approved e-learning supplier. Once that person is an approved supplier, then you can go now and submit the project documents and your project would be approved. If it is not an approved e-learning supplier, then e-learning would now be required to source your tablets. So that is what would have faced some MPs. All right, so that's why so many redirecting of funds. If you haven't gotten all of them, you can take a quick look before we pass it, because it's quite a little bit. All right, so that ends, Marshall, our projects. We can sign that one afterward.
While they're still signing, Marshall, because they're not going to come out, I wanted to mention, I think, 5 things. I'll limit it to 3 in any other business. We can say that we're going to do a pilot with 2 constituencies. Southeast St. Andrew, which is Member Julian Robinson and Dr. Nigel Clark. Northwest St. Andrew, we are going to be doing JAMDEX payments for those constituencies for the employment generation, yes. So the CDF is announcing, and I'm urging members of parliament to get on board. That's where we're going, the digital economy. So no more checks, no more wiring of funds. We are now piloting 2 constituencies and looking forward that in the next financial year, if we can try to roll out the JAMDEX right across the board for constituencies. No, not only that, during the Christmas period, you know the strain on MPs when persons work and not get paid and all of the the hiccups with the banking system that we currently have. So with digitally, it's a click of a button, your money is in your wallet.
Make it very straight so that the public understands that these mechanisms are used for greater accountability and transparency.
Well,
and no, it's necessary because you have persons who feel like the MP can just dip in their pocket and give them their money. It doesn't happen. And when they see systems like these, constituents grumble because it is not what they were accustomed to. So we as members of parliament need to start sensitize that.
No, well, we normally go into the constituencies before, as we're doing now with Member Robinson and Member Clark. So we would not roll out Jamdex in your constituency without doing a proper sensitization and getting persons to sign up for their wallets.
Madam Chair, as one of the constituencies doing the pilot, we are looking forward to the implementation of it. We have selected a small portion of the Christmas allocation, but we recognize this is where the world is going, and for where you have a large number of relatively small payments to make in a short period of time, we believe this is a good solution. Merchants have to be signed up as well to participate in the program, so when the persons who are paid, they can go within their communities to redeem the funds. So we are in that process now with the CDF, BOJ, and the Link, who is the provider through NCB. So we look forward to it, and we're cooperating to ensure that it is a success.
Thank
very,
you.
Very good, very good. I look forward to East Rural St. Andrew. Remember, we are only allowed to be having these discussions while we are signing because the marshal is actually at our door. So I'm going to allow the director to just complete, and then we will take the points from members.
Yes, and the last point I think that we should look into as a committee coming back the next financial year, if the CDF is going to undertake parochial roads, I do believe that the implementing agency, which is the municipal corporations, can waive the agency fees because it is their responsibility to fix those roads. That is my opinion as the chair. We're doing the director of the CDF. I do believe that we're undertaking something that is under your core responsibility. Exactly, we're helping them. I do believe that their contribution should be to waive the agency fees, as other implementing agencies would have done. So I want to say the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation, once it is a parochial road, we know that a letter is coming with the estimates to say that the agency fees are waived.
They currently do that?
Yes.
That's excellent. So the director is singling out St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation as one of those that currently waive the agency fee. The option is for parochial roads. The option is available. I remember us asking NAA when we got that last allocation, that 9 million, with 3 additional million, and they did waive the agency fee for us in that particular setting. We will ensure, coming through the CDF, I will give support to the director in advocating to the Minister of Local Government, because that is where the directives would rightfully come from to the various parish councils, municipal corporations across Jamaica to effect such a change in policy going forward. Member Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just want to say that I was a bit late. I'm apologizing for that. And that I had 2 other members who have asked me to apologize for them for not going to be here at this meeting. It is Member Davis, Honorable Homer Davis, and Member Rhoda Crawford. So just have the records.
All right, thank you very much. Members, thank you very much for being here today. I'm really appreciative of the wonderful turnout of members. And please whisper to your colleagues that it is very important to get their projects in on time, meet their deadlines, do not miss any spending opportunities for your constituents. They will cut off our necks if they realize that we are balling for more money, but we are not spending what we have been given. All right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Will somebody move for the adjournment of today's meeting? All right, thank you very much. So moved by Member Clark and seconded by Member Robinson.